And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you may be listening to us. Welcome to Psychic Talk. That's right. It's compassionate light, healing and guidance with Catherine Hahn. Except as you can tell, I'm not Catherine Hahn. Hey, Charlotte. Charlotte's joining me in the chat room. Oh my God. Yeah, so I've been trying to get a hold of Catherine all morning and haven't heard from her. Usually, if she has to cancel, she at least sends a quick message and lets us know, that she's not going to make it for the show. So I had everything set up and running. So I figured, well, I'm just going to jump on here and do a quick show because that way at least we have a show, right? So yes, it was supposed to be compassionate light, healing and guidance with Catherine Hahn today. And actually, I'm trying to remember. She's starting a new series of shows for March. Now, February, March, April, she's doing like I think I want to say spirit, mind, body. And March is mind. And today's show connecting ourselves to spirit and our world. I really wanted to hear that, but she's not here. Oh, wow. Charlotte says, wow, I had my volume up loud and I blew my eardrums out. Yeah, you have to adjust it a little bit there. Anyway, Chelly's in there too as well. Chele. I like to, at least that's how I pronounce the name. I know I'm butchering it. Charlotte saying hi. Yeah, so I don't know. This might be like a really, really short show because it's usually Catherine's show, Compassionate Light, here on Fridays. She has her own following, does her own promotion. I don't think she did that. I did not promote. I normally promote her show all over the place. We're on Facebook, got two pages, two groups, plus I promote to like 3 dozen other large groups, spiritual advertising and things like that, spiritual groups and so forth. And for our tarot shows, tarot groups and things on Facebook. Plus, we have LinkedIn, we've got Instagram, we've got my personal Twitter, we've got the Psychic Talk Twitter. So, yeah, we do a lot of promotion. I didn't promote this morning because I hadn't heard from Catherine and I didn't want to promote the show and then there'd be no show. So, coming on here and doing it myself was a literally the last minute, last second decision. I was chatting with Charlotte actually on Facebook talking about this. And I was like, I might just jump on because everything's set up, everything was running, all the technology was, functioning. And we had the show completely set up and running. And it's like, well, might as well take advantage of that. But because I didn't do any advertising, I mean, we may never get any phone calls or many folks in chat here even. I don't know. There's nobody on the phone lines right now. Of course, people that are going to blogtalkradio.com just looking for a live show, they may see that we're live and pop on in the next, 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We'll see what happens. And if you are listening to me live, because, maybe you're watching on YouTube, give me a call, 714-816-4628. I'd love to chat with you. And then we've got more people coming into the chat. Oh, Heart Chakra Medium is in there. Well, thanks everybody that's joining me for this impromptu show. Um, it is interesting how it worked out though. See, the first Saturday of the month, because we're doing shows like all week long, and I'm doing the majority of those shows, Psychic Talk daily shows. And then we have our custom shows like Catherine's on Friday. And now we have Michelle's Mystic Corner the second and fourth Saturdays. We've got the Angelic View with Maria Moss on the first and third Sundays, and the second and fourth Sunday is supposed to be Sharona, Sharona Rapsik with her Magic Universe show, which is currently on winter break. Currently on winter break. But all the other times it's me popping in. But I take the first Saturday off because I have a meeting at the American Legion that I like to go to in the mornings. So as I said on yesterday's show, I'm taking tomorrow off. Well, um, I did think about doing a show only because I may not be going to that meeting. One of the reasons is we're installing a garbage disposal here at the house tomorrow morning. And I don't know when that's going to be, when it ends, and everything like that. So I told Ellie, who was going to jump on with me tomorrow, that probably not doing a show. And so we rescheduled her for the 16th. So she's got her new Muggle job going, which she can tell us about maybe on the show. And so she can't, pop in during the week like she used to, mostly Saturdays and Sundays. But we have these other shows now, these custom shows. So we looked at the calendar, looked at everything, and the only time she can make it was March 16th. So she's going to be here March 16th, Saturday, March 16th. So you can put it on your calendar if you're a big fan of Ellie, like I am, and all of her fantastic decks that she shows when she comes on the show as a guest co-host. But this actually is working out very interesting because, like I said, don't normally do a show the first Saturday. Uh, then I was like, well, maybe I can because I'm not going. And then I'm like, no, I better not do a show on Saturday. But then I'm getting to do the show today that I would have done tomorrow because Catherine's not here like she's supposed to be today. So anyway, I know it's very confusing, right? Yeah. But hey, all you guys have to remember is, we're here in the Psychic Cafe on Psychic Talk, and we're here every day of the week. Yes. Yeah. Charlotte and I were talking about, Catherine and Catherine's show and everything. And I think this is 3 weeks in a row that we've missed, and it's sad because it's hard to build consistency, is what Charlotte was saying. It's very true, with an audience. Luckily we have shows all the rest of the time, and so it's really not that bad in my eyes when you're doing it like every day of the week. And so if they miss one day, it's one day. My shows, like I said, I miss the first Saturday of the month, and then occasionally there'll be something like I have to go in for an MRI or doctor visit, dentist, whatever, kind of thing. So, but that's it. I miss maybe one, maybe two in an entire month when I'm on, like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturdays, Sundays. Usually I'm guest co-hosting. Friday's my only day off because Catherine's doing it, but I still have to be here running the technology, right, for her to do the YouTube live simulcasting with Blog Talk. So Charlotte and I were talking about this before the show, and you know we're doing pretty good though. We say we're on 7 days a week, but I know we miss a show here or there, but I don't think it's that bad. I think we're doing, pretty good. Oh, Bamika is back in the chat as well. Welcome back. I think she has a question. Let's check the caller lines. Okay, the caller lines are still wide open. So if you're hearing me live on Blog Talk Radio, maybe on one of the radio players, or if you're here on YouTube with me, you can dial in at 714-816-4628. Remember to press 1 on your dial pad so I know you want to be live on air. Otherwise, we just assume you're listening to the show. That is perfectly fine. You can just dial in at that number and just listen. But if you want to be live on air with me, push 1 on your dial pad when you get through. 714-816-4628 puts you up in the caller queue, raises your hand, that literally puts a white little skinny alien hand, Mary, you say, next to the phone number, so we know you want to be live on air. All righty. So what is, it's March 1st. It's like, hey, Yesterday was leap day. We only get that once every uh 4 years. And I completely forgot to mention it on the show. And today, hey, the first, it's a one number. It's, hey, you know, new beginnings. Every beginning of every month is new beginnings, right? And yeah, I can't believe it's March already, but still we're in the first quarter. It's still early enough in 2024 to really get the ball rolling with things. Yeah. And one is also the number of leadership. So if an opportunity arises today, don't hesitate, jump on that, take charge, or be on stage, the opportunity to be on stage, quote unquote, which could be anything from, like, talking in a meeting, um, asking a question, or, in class or something, or in a meeting, um, or literally going on stage and doing karaoke, or something, or stand-up comedy. Yeah. So yes, that one energy today. And what else? Oh, well, I got the card of the day. I got the star card again. Didn't I have that for card of the day within the last couple weeks? I can't remember. All the days are flowing together. But card 17, 1 plus 7 is 8. That's abundance, like the world year number this year. And look at those stars. There's 8 of them. They also have 8 rays. You ever notice that? And as I've told people many, many times, anytime there's a pool of water, it's talking about the subconscious slash the spiritual realm. And look, she has 1 foot. The lady has 1 foot in the spiritual realm and 1 foot on dry land. So she's straddling, like the temperance card, the angel in the temperance card. She's, literally displaying the human condition, where we're consciousness, we're spirit, and we have 1 foot in the spiritual realm and 1 foot in the material realm at all times. And that's why we're able to manifest. Yeah. And she's pouring the water, usually whenever water is being poured. And it's very interesting. All the parallels between the star card and temperance. Have you ever noticed in temperance, the typically it's considered to be the archangel Michael, and Michael, the archangel, is pouring, uh again, a liquid water, we don't know, from one goblet to another goblet, and it's like, I always call it the water of life. He's pouring the water of life. And so the same thing here, only she's not pouring it from one urn to another, but she is pouring it on the dry land. So it's coming from the spirit realm, manifesting into the physical realm. And notice there's 5 rivulets representing the 5 elements and the 5 senses, the 5 human senses. But she's also pouring some back into spirit here. Whereas in the temperance card, he's pouring it, from one cup to another, which, but it's still a parallel. It's still very similar. And I consider it to be like the water of life. That's what I call it, right? And we all know that the star card is literally the card of hope. If this shows up in a reading, whatever you're talking about, there's still hope, right? And of course, it's a star, so it may be indicating something like, it's time for you to shine. Remember, I said get on stage, stand up and ask the question, make the presentation, whatever today, with the one energy. It's the same thing with the star card. It's your time to shine and be the star. Yeah. Also, remember, when we wish upon a star, that's another thing too. Maybe it's time to make that wish. Okay. Uh, what else? Okay, so sometimes this card shows up saying, something like, I don't know, keep a positive attitude, right? You know, just stay focused on what it is you want to manifest in. and stay positive. When we're trying to manifest something and it's not happening, a lot of times it is the lack that we're focused on. So it's very necessary to keep positive and keep focused on what we're trying to bring in. Um, and the universe, goes along with that. Oh God, I can't remember what's the old saying, everybody in chat. I can't remember right now. Um, well, it's the one about, favors the bold. Um, I can't remember what the whole saying is. It's escaping me right now. Um, Fortune favors the bold, something like that. That's part of it too. Oh, another thing this could be is, how are you giving hope to other people? Are you a are you standing up as a source of inspiration? Are you teaching people? Are you mentoring people? Are you maintaining hope and staying focused and keeping a positive attitude when something negative is happening that's affecting a lot of other people, and then you're able to um advise them or at least inspire them by your attitude? That's another thing. Sometimes the star card talks about healing also. It could be physical healing, but it could also be like emotional, spiritual healing, things like that as well. So there you go, card of the day. And doing this all impromptu because I wasn't supposed to be doing a show today, but I was able to get my coffee, so I'm happy. Does everybody have their coffee and tea? So you can join me in the cafe and we can hang out together and pull cards and chit chat. Mm. And remember, on these shows, these are kind of like our live newsletters to our Tarot Guild members. We started the radio shows in 2010, 14 years ago. We just had our anniversary. We started the shows and now YouTube Live as well. The whole reason for that was because we were taking the Tarot Guild online, launched our first website, and we were going to put out a newsletter. And a lot of folks were already joining the guild. We had 500 people from when we first started physically building the website, late 2009. Before we officially launched January 20th, 2010, we already had over 500 members. And they were saying, no, nowadays, newsletters are dead, uh, which is funny because looking back 14 years, it's now 14 years later, and newsletters are not still dead. I mean, are not dead yet. I mean, people are still using them. People are still putting out newsletters. I mean, they're all digital, going out over email. I guess there are some people still printing them. We do at the American Legion. We still print a newsletter, mail it out to people, and we have a digital version online, and I send out an email blast with the digital version every month. Just did that last week, for March. But everybody was saying, no, it's all about podcasting and, do a radio show. And I thought, and I had been a big fan of radio, you know, talk radio on AM. And I was like, oh, that would be cool to do. And then we could tell everybody what was going on with the guild and be live and answer questions and promote the organization and do some mini readings and everything. And then, bring on people to interview from the tarot world, bring on our members to promote them and their services, and, let them show off their skills a little bit. that was the whole idea of Psychic Talk. And the first show, it wasn't even a network then. The first show was just, it was just Tarot Today. It was just Tarot Today. And now, we're a whole network. Doing a little shuffling here. But I want everybody to think of these shows that we do every day as an opportunity to come on and, sure, you can get a mini reading on something going on in your life, but I also want people to, I want to be able to tell people what's going on with the Psychic Cafe, our new community website, Psychic Talk, the network, and the Tarot Guild, what's going on, workshops that we're doing, and specials and certification and all those kind of things. And plus, you can come on here and ask questions about it. How do I become a professional tarot reader? How do I become a professional psychic advisor? How do I get certified? Why do I get certified? What's the process? All those kind of things. What's the benefits of being the member of a professional organization? Because, let's face it, most psychics, most tarot readers, numerologists, astrologers, psychic mediums, most of us are all doing it all on our own out there. So, what's the benefits of belonging to an organization, right? Like ours, and getting certified and having a community website as an outlet for you to promote yourself, your business, your services and products. And that's the whole idea. So any questions about that? Also, any questions about tarot in general or numerology? We, over the last several shows, we've had a couple of really good questions, about the mechanics of tarot and numerology, about the law of attraction and psychic development and things like that. So if you have any questions about that as well. Okay, doing some shuffling. Remember to call in 714-816-4628. Press 1 on your dial pad as soon as you get through. Still no callers, though, for those live in listening on the radio players or here on YouTube. If you pop on the phone bank right now, if you dial into the switchboard at Blog Talk, we'll be able to take you like right away. Charlotte, I had cinnamon toast, yummy. Oh God, I got great raisin bread out there. Okay, this is going to be a really short show because I'm hungry. I got my coffee, but that's about it right now. And I see Michelle popped in. Hi, Michelle. As you can see, Michelle, no wonderful meditation live, guided meditation from Charlotte today because she's not here. I hope she's okay because I haven't heard anything from her all morning. Messaged her multiple times. Like early on, I sent her the link so she could come and do the show. And then I told her, okay, I have everything set up and everything's connected with YouTube and the switchboard for radio. And, we're in the YouTube studio and everything's ready to stream out. And then I was asking her some questions about, because she's starting or, supposedly starting a new series of shows here in March. It's going to be on Mind, like I said earlier. So spirit, mind, body. I've always said mind, body, spirit. She got really upset because I didn't say it in the right order. Anyway, this month's mind, and today's show was supposed to be connecting ourselves to spirit and our world, which sounded fabulous. I even made a really cool like March banner for her too. Oh, I wonder if I can do that. Oh, let's see. I think I have that on. Let me see here. There it is. Let me see if I can make that bigger so everybody can see. This is all impromptu. I didn't have this set up or nothing like that. Just gonna pop this in here so you guys can get a good look at that. I found this really cool background with the shamrocks, and only it looks real modern and not dated like a lot of them do, you know. And I had this all set up and everything. But as you can see, Michelle, no guided meditation today. It's just Dax. So I hope I'm not depressing anybody by it only being me and not the fabulous Catherine Hahn, because I really do like her guided meditations. I know Charlotte and Michelle really do. And Charlotte says, I'm here. Catherine is not. Laugh out loud. Um, I'd love to know the difference between the star card and the sun card. Star card and the sun. It's interesting because the sun is a star. Very interesting, right? I'll see if I can find the star card in here and we'll take a look at that. And then let's see, still no calls, but I know I had some questions. Let me go back because Chele came in and chakra medium, heart chakra medium. Charlotte said something about the amount of energy we put out into the world every time we go live is amazing. I know. I know. I wanted to do an experiment with that. It popped in my head yesterday, Charlotte, that on these shows, I wanted to start projecting energy but not tell anybody and see if anybody in the audience is picking it up. I mean, I'm not doing that right now. I'm just saying that you had kind of like this, what you said was similar to my idea. And Bhumika had a question. What Yasha's thinking about me and our relationship after moving to Canada. Oh, you guys moved to Canada? That's really cool. That's really cool. You asked a question before, Bhumika, but I couldn't remember what it was. But I don't think it was the same thing. Um, okay, so what's going on here? Well, obviously, when we move somewhere new, regardless of everything else going on, it's a big transition. So, the death card shows up. Literally the big transition, one door closes, another door opens. So it's a whole new thing there. And I think she might be or he I see, I don't know. Maybe Yash is the he, I don't know. Or maybe it's another she, I don't know. But Yash, you know, they might be a little distracted. Notice how it's Page of Swords. Notice how he's not looking at the sword. In all the other court cards, the figure in the card is looking at the object, whether it's their pentacle, their sword, their cup, their wand, staff. They're usually looking at it, but Page of Swords, no. So it's like, and that's thoughts and ideas, a sword, right? So not keeping our eye on the ball. I don't know, getting the feeling that Yash is a little distracted, and it's confirmed with the Four of Cups. Four is structure, and obviously, four also relates. Being structure and foundation relates to buildings and especially home. And you guys have moved home to Canada, and the figure in the card there is looking at these three cups. Cups are emotions, and look with the legs crossed, arms crossed. It's like Yash doesn't is not happy with like the whole situation, but they are missing something. That's what this extra cup coming out of the clouds. He doesn't. The figure in the card doesn't see it, and same thing for Yash. Doesn't see other possibilities and opportunities. That would change the situation. So he wasn't He was more satisfied emotionally. That's what's going on there. Another four, again with the structure and the foundation. This time it's the Four of Pentacles. He's holding on really tight. This can be a negative thing. Like, are you holding on too tight to Yash? And is there a smothering thing going on? Or this can be positive, like holding on to money, like doing savings and investments and things like that. So, the Four of Pentacles, depending on the situation, could be positive or negative depending on, and because I'm not in person with you doing a live reading, spending 20, 30, 40 minutes with you where we can get to the bottom of things. I'm not entirely sure. So you're going to have to look at the situation, see how this fits in. Okay. But ultimately, the card that shows up is the Magician card. Okay. So if there's issues with having moved to Canada and you're wondering about how Yasha is feeling about you, all these kind of things. Um, like I said, it looks like Yasha's a little distracted, maybe not happy with certain things. But whenever the Magician card shows up, it's showing up to say, look, you have the power. How do you want things to be if they're not, if you're asking these questions, it presupposes that you're not happy with, you know, or have or suspect that Yash in some way, is not thinking or feeling the way you want them to be. And of course, we can't control how other people feel and what they think. But you could put out how you want it to be to the universe. Whenever the Magician shows up, it's just a reminder that all of us always all have the power, always. So I hope that helped you out. And let's see. Hmm. And then first name, last name said, no, Catherine, yes. See, this is what happens when you don't join us on time. First name, you're supposed to be here, a half hour ago, and you would have saw me come on. And I think twice now, I've gone through the whole thing where it's like, yeah, not Catherine Hahn. She was supposed to do a show today, and I hope she's okay. She couldn't do the last two Fridays because first her son got ill, and then he felt better, but then the other son got ill, and then she got ill. I don't know about her husband or not, but she was to the point where she couldn't even talk. So obviously can't do a show, right? But she was, miserable all week. And then so she had to cancel the first show, and then she canceled last Friday's. And then she said for sure she was going to be live on air today. So this morning I started messaging her and giving her the link to get into the show and setting everything up. And I kept messaging her, I got this set up, I got that set up, we're all ready to go. Here's the new banner for March, all this stuff. Not a peep. I have not heard a peep out of her. So I hope she's okay. Maybe she's just still under the weather and she's still in bed and got the covers over her head or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So, and if anybody messages her or finds out anything, let us know. Because obviously I'm live on air. I can't be doing that right now. Um, but yeah, Charlotte said she has cool shows when she's there. Yeah, she does these guided meditations on every show. It's really cool. They're telling me that Chele had a question too, but I didn't see it when I was zipping through there. And Heart Chakra Medium is talking about what? And, and the third planet conjunction 228. Okay. They're going off on some astrology stuff. No, I don't do astrology, so I don't know. Chile, who might take me to court this? What? How do you know someone's going to take you to court if they haven't already put papers in. That is odd. Oh, I got something back from Bhumika about Yash. We'll look at that in just a second. Let's go back to the Chele. Let's see if someone shows up here. Okay, so I'm getting right off the bat, I'm getting heartbreak, is or a love triangle or something like that. What's going on with this? And then the knight of the knight of wands, somebody fire energy, younger, might be one of the fire signs. That's who's showing up. I don't know if that is who it is. And then the five of wands, some kind of squabble. Obviously, if they're taking to court, and somebody did some sneaky stuff in the background. So that's what's showing up. Of course, the way you worded it kind of threw me off. Who might take me to court this month? It's like, do people regularly take you to court every month? And then also who? There's no names on tarot cards, so like the best we can do is see who shows up. When I say who, I'm looking for a court card. It's just like when I'm doing a romance reading, I'm laying cards out and I'm looking for a court card, and how quickly it shows up or how far away, how many cards distant before it shows up tells us a little bit about, what's going on in the situation, how quickly that person's coming in. A situation like this where you're asking that, the most we can do is look for a court card and maybe give you an astrological sign. Uh, it's not like you pull a card and it says, oh, yeah, it's Fred. Yeah, I'm not that kind of psychic. Sorry. But there's plenty of them on Blog Talk. So you can go to blogtalkradio.com and search around. Same thing with YouTube. You can search around on YouTube and find an actual, psychic clairvoyant that might be able to tell you who's taking you to court. Anyway, that was just a strange question. Not that I didn't like doing it. It's kind of fun. Did get some information a little bit anyway, right? But Bhumika had come back with only Yash moved to Canada. Okay, see, this is again, I'm not a psychic, I'm a tarot card reader, okay, and a numerologist. So, if I had been live with Bhumika, I could be asking these questions, and they'd obviously, we'd be live on a video like a Zoom or something, and them from India, and would be saying how Yash moved to Canada, and it would be obvious because I'd be on the call with her from India, and I'd be able to ask questions, why is this coming up? Why do you think this? And then pull cards on each thing. That's how tarot works. It's not psychic stuff, not like that. Yeah, there's obviously psychic intuition involved, but it's not like that. So Yash is the one. Yeah. Well, from the cards that I got, Bhumika, I would say, you know, it's really not showing. I wasn't getting any feeling or any information from the cards showing me that, how Yash felt about you per se, but he doesn't have focus on you, maybe because he's busy setting things up in Canada or something, or, there's things going on. Plus that Four of Cups. I don't think he's really happy that he had to move and uh moved and is away from you right now. So I kind of think that's positive. So that's my instinct on that right now. Okay. Just throwing that out there. So we do have a caller coming in, and Kay just popped in as well. Hi, Kay. Welcome back to the show. And we have a phone call we'll take in just a second. So Kay, this must be a new K. This is like the third K that we've had in the last few days. So new K talks. All you do is you type in the chat what your question is. Try to keep it concise. One or two lines for a question. If you want something general, though, you can just say, "Hey Dax, please pull a card for me. Please pull a card for me," or "I'd like a general reading." Okay. But if you have a very specific question, and those are the ones that work the best with tarot, is specific questions, go ahead and pop it in there. Yeah. And why do I say that it works best? Because of the way that I read. I don't read like, the old fortune tellers doing readings, they would do general readings. It was like, can you please read my cards? And they would lay out the cards, and people would pick cards for the reading, give it to the reader, and they would lay them down. And it was quote unquote the clients, their cards. Oh, by the way, I got balloons to go off. That was cool. So it was their cards. What does that presuppose? That it's their future being read, which is written in granite, and you cannot change anything. Okay. I don't work that way. I'm working as like a life coach, spiritual coach. So what I'm doing is I want to look at the situation and the question you bring, and the more specific the question, I can get more specific answers. And then when I'm doing a live session with somebody, what I'm doing is constantly talking to the client. What's your reaction to what we just found out? Okay, what's your question about that? Then pulling cards on that question, and just continuing on like that, pulling cards on questions, and we get a full picture of what's going on, rather than just laying cards out and doing a general reading. Remember Miss Cleo, and she'd lay out lines of cards. Okay, and this is happening, and this is happening, and the tall dark stranger is coming in, and then this, and yeah, that is reading your future. That is, this is what's going to happen. It's not going to change. It's written in granite. We have no free will, right? Um, and that's not how a lot of us modern readers read. We're doing life coaching ultimately. And I will actually use real life coaching techniques, because when I'm pulling cards and I get a certain potential outcome, it's like, oh, it looks like it's going here. Is that where you want to go? And if not, we try to be proactive and make actions that change the outcome to what the client wants. Because it's not about reading your future, which also, are we setting them up if we're doing that? Like, I know some people will take it to heart and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Do we really want that? What I want to do is I want to help you manifest the future you want, regardless of what's coming up in the cards. The cards are just telling us, giving us information, potentially where you're headed, potential outcomes, and the trajectory from the past, the decisions you've made, what's happening in the now, and then projecting out the timeline into the future, the outcome. And then the farther out we go in time, 3 months, 6 months, the timelines, they diverge like that. So you can't really make a great prediction the farther out you go. You're just throwing spaghetti at the wall at that point, throwing darts. So you do see an outcome, maybe say a couple weeks from now, that we can do, but you can change that. So my whole working with my client is, what do you want to manifest? Is that how you want things to be? What can we do that's different? And we find out what they want to manifest, and then I'll take some of the tools from my toolkit, NLP, neurolinguistics, hypnosis, EFT, uh, break up any blockages, and then also use like life coaching techniques where basically you start at the end goal and work backwards and break everything up into smaller, more digestible, easier to do steps, all the way, bring it all the way back to now. It's like, okay, what can you do tomorrow? And then what can you do the next day, and then next week, and do all the steps to get to that goal. So and there's a lot more to it, obviously, but that's basically life coaching. So that's what I do with my clients. It's not about telling you what's going to happen. And but we don't have time to go through that whole process here on the shows. And that's why I do pull like a yes no spread. I try to answer your question just how you ask it, yes, no, and give you more information. And because that's about the best we can do when we only have 2 to 5 minutes with a caller or somebody asking a question in chat. We don't have that much time to spend with you, so we can't go deep. Oh, and speaking of that, let me pop up here in between shows. You can contact me on my page, psychic.cafe/Dax. Go over to psychic.cafe, our new community website, and sign up free. And then when you go to my page, psychic.cafe/Dax, you'll see the little envelope icon for messaging. You can message me in between shows. You can ask questions. You can book a reading with me. In fact, there's a button or two on my about section on my profile, and you can book right there. So if you want a longer session where we can, spend more time and go deeper with you, you can do that. Also, the sale we have going on right now, psychic.cafe/sale. On there is our lifetime membership. But if you scroll down a bit, you'll see where you can book a reading with me 50% off. So instead of $99.99, it's just $49.99. You save 50%. It's actually $50 you save. $49.99, and you have to scroll down a bit on the sale page, and then you'll see the book now button, psychic.cafe/sale. Just so I put that out real quick here. And so Kay's going to put in their question: finance or career. I had to leave a toxic work environment. Have been freelance marketing to make ends meet. Wondering when financial stability will come in. Also in school for mental health counseling. Cool. I'm trying not to stress out about finances, but work so much. Yeah. Okay. And so we've been talking about this on the shows recently. I want to manifest financial security and stable job. Yeah. So this is the thing. We've been talking about this lately, and it's so hard to get financially stable because, like you said, I'm trying not to stress out about finances, but just you saying that means you're thinking about it. So where's your focus? Your focus is on the lack. Your focus is on the stress. Your focus is on the finances not being secure. So what happens? The universe says, oh, okay, obviously wants more of that. So we're going to send more financial instability in. Yes, that's how it actually works. Okay. So what have I said over the last few shows? And by the way, it's a gold mine. If you go back and listen like the last 5 shows, there's nuggets in there, everything from like when Pamela and I were on together and all the shows I did this week, like 4 shows by myself. I threw out all kinds of nuggets, how to do 5 sensory visualizations and everything, what you should be focusing on, how to do that, the whole writing it down on paper thing where you draw the line and, all the things you don't want on this side and then all the things you do want on that side. And then you cut the paper in half, take the things you don't want, burn it, take it outside, burn it, get rid of that, and then just focus on what you want to manifest and bring in. So you need to be focusing on that and how you're going to do it. Program your dreams. So we were getting the moon card a lot earlier in the week, and it's in the week before, and it's all about programming your dreams. It's like, okay, what should I do if you need clues on to do for financial security? And, if you're in school for mental health counseling, maybe you should be focusing more on that. Maybe you could start some gigs, life coaching now before you get into actual mental health counseling. So you could do some life coaching, which is kind of like akin to, but you don't need a license to be a life coach, so you might want to get into that, and doing readings along with life coaching, could be something where you can make money on the side. Think of side gigs. Think of, instead of, it's got to be this job thing and I have to apply a certain way. Think of different streams of income, sell some affiliate products and do some life coaching with people and do some side gigs, Uber Eats and Uber and Amazon Flex. And, what can you do to get money coming in when you have time available? And what's great about those gig type jobs that are app based is, it's like, oh, I've got 3 hours between, I just got off job and I have class in 3 hours. I can turn on the app and make money while I'm waiting to go to class. Things like that. Start thinking outside of the box. That's what usually traps us, is we're so stressed out and we're so focused therefore on the stress and the lack and the finances not being where we want them to be, and we get all focused on the past. Like I said, I've always made money this way, I've always worked in this type of job. Well, what thing can you do that's like totally outside of your comfort zone, but you could do it like literally tomorrow? Sign up for um a delivery app or something and be making money instantly. I mean, that's a great, idea. It doesn't have to be that, but literally something that you're not thinking about outside of the box. Okay. And let's see here. Okay. And then, oh, you had a timing in there. Yes, it is totally. And I know that's not rational. Yeah. Yeah. So stop focusing on what you don't want. Get focused on what you do. And hey, it's really hard for us to do that because our conscious mind wants to wander. And whatever we focus on, our subconscious mind takes that to heart. It doesn't judge. The subconscious mind cannot process negatives. So never use a sentence that contains a negative, because it'll only hear, like, don't spill the milk. The subconscious mind hears spill the milk. That's how the mind works. Okay. I'm putting on my hypnotherapy hat right now as a clinical hypnotherapist. Oh, clinical hypnotherapy, NLP, that might be something you want to do too, because you can start helping people within a week and be making money and not having to worry about finishing your schooling that you were talking about um, in mental health counseling and getting licensed and all that kind of stuff. And, I don't know how far along you are in that or how many weeks, months, or years till that happens. But like I said, I gave you one idea: life coaching. Another one is doing clinical hypnotherapy with people. You can be a functioning clinical hypnotherapist and help people, quit smoking, lose weight, all that kind of typical stuff in a week. You do not need months or years of training, and you don't need licensing. There's no licensing with life coaching. There's no licensing with NLP. There's no licensing with hypnotherapy. And these are all adjunct to how'd you put it, school for mental health counseling. It's all adjunct to counseling, traditional psychotherapy, psychology. It's adjunct to that, so it's the perfect gig for you, right? But you could add some other gigs in too, like Amazon Flex. Deliver some packages for an hour or two, make some money. It's not, by the way, this stuff nowadays, there's no excuse. It was hard before. Now with apps and everything, uh you know there's so many things you can do online to make money. uh you can do rideshare, but there's all the other apps too. I keep wanting to say Shopify. It's not. What is it? What's the one? Instacart. And Amazon Flex, you're delivering packages. If you don't want to be shuffling people around, you can shuffle boxes around. You can go work for your local florist and make some money. I mean, come on, you don't need an app for that. But there apps and everything. It just makes it so easy nowadays to make some money on the side, so you're not always scrimping by. So everybody you know should look at doing that. Multiple streams of income. So you see some hypnotherapy clients, you help them stop smoking, you charge $400, $500. That's another thing too, by the way, I want to throw out here. You can make steady income with the app jobs and, gig economy, uh, ride share, delivering stuff, everything like that. But these other things that I'm hinting at with hypnotherapy and life coaching and things like that that are adjunct to your mental health counseling that you're doing anyway. If you took a course on hypnotherapy and started seeing clients, the big difference with that compared to the gigs is you only are going to be making so much money an hour. You do some gig jobs for a few hours a day and you make $100, something like that, and you had to work X number of hours. With hypnotherapy, you can see a client for 1 hour and make $500, $600, easy. Especially things like quit smoking. Think about it. Helping somebody quit smoking is probably the only problem that we solve for a client where it is paying for itself. So I could charge 250, I could charge $300, $400, $500, $600, $1,000. It does not matter. I know hypnotherapists that charge $1,500 for quit smoking. And it doesn't matter because they're quitting smoking. So they're not buying the $10 packs of cigarettes. So within a month or two or three, they've already been paid back the money they put out and paid you for the service. Right. And then from that moment on, however much they were spending on cigarettes, $250, $350, $500 a month on cigarettes, they're saving that every single month going forward. So like thousands, $3,000 after they've already paid back the money that they've paid you. Now they are paying themselves essentially, $3,000 over the next 10 months. So a year after quitting smoking. It's one of the greatest things you can do, especially because of that. It's really not going to cost the client anything. You're actually going to make the client money. But in addition to that, you can make so much, 400, 500, 1,000, 997. I know people that charge 997, $1,500, $1,300 a pop. So you only have to work 1 hour with somebody and make more than enough money to you see a few clients like that in a week, and then over a month, you probably won't even need a job of any kind. You can just work however much money you want to make, and how much you're charging. You can make three or four, you know $500 a day, $1,000, and work 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 hours a week, at and just concentrate on your schooling and not have to worry about the finances then, right? So what I'm getting in the cards for this is uh the Four of Wands. So it looks really positive. And your original question when you were talking about, I'm trying to find it here, the timing on it, I'm rereading everything here. Sorry, everybody. Bear with me while I'm going back over. I can't find it now. Anyway, but Kay, you asked about the timing. That's the timing card is for, so literally you can be financially secure in 4 weeks. And this is celebration. I really think you're going to be able to do this. I think I'm giving you knowledge bombs right now. Thinking outside the box, things you've never even considered. Tell me if that's true in the chat, and I will scroll down and read that in a second. But what you've commented so far, I haven't read, so give me a chance to read that. And also, four is structure and foundation. You need to, and it's four. It's like there's these multiple streams of income, right? It's not just putting all your eggs in one basket. So you need to create the foundation that will allow you to do this. And what else am I getting? Page of Cups. Okay. So, as far as other work, you may be getting a message about this very shortly. That's what pages often are. But I also want to say that these ideas that we've been chatting about here will be more emotionally fulfilling to you for various reasons. One, you're not going to have to work as hard. You can make a lot of money per client, therefore see a lot less clients and put in a lot less hours, maybe a few hours a week. There's that four again, and be able to sustain yourself, pay all your bills, everything like that, and still be able to, and even have more time to study and really focus on that mental health counseling schooling that you're in right now. But also, you're going to be emotionally satisfied because you are helping people, which is why you're going into mental health counseling. Hello, this is just brilliant shit here I'm putting out. And then on top of that, some of the methods I've given you, some of the streams of income are adjunct to counseling. They are parallel modalities. It is so perfect for you. In fact, you may find out that after you do this for a while, you may not want to do traditional mental health counseling. You may want to just stick with the NLP and the hypnotherapy, or you can now have these tools in your tool belt as a mental health counselor, and you can do things for clients that traditional talk therapy, it would take you 10 months to 10 years to help somebody with some of these things. Even habits, it takes forever. Behavioral therapy takes forever. Oh my God. So, in 1 hour, you can help somebody get rid of a habit they don't want anymore, like smoking. PTSD. Oh my God. You can knock PTSD out in one session, maybe two. So, yeah. The other thing is the only major arcana card I got is the death card, which I got earlier. It's like one door closing, another door opening. This is a total shift for you. And look, the day is dawning in the background. It's no accident that you found the show today called In Today. This card shows that you are at a point, a precipice where you're able to shift foundations, build foundations and structure. And one door is closing, but another door is opening. And it's a better one. And the sun is dawning in the background here, So there you go. I hope that helped you out. Let's see if there was anything else they said. And then we're going to go to the phone lines. 504, area code 504. You're up first. So get ready. I'm coming to you just a second after I check Kay. So, yeah. So Kay has 2 part-time jobs and babysitting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's actually good. Those are multiple streams of income. So you don't have all your eggs in one basket. But some of the other ones I gave you are things that you're probably not thinking about, where you can make a lot more money, and also, it'll be more fulfilling. It'll actually help you out with your schooling and your counseling you're doing now. Has there been a time in my life I felt that way? Uh, okay. I'm not sure what you were talking about there, or when in the conversation that was. That's the only bad thing about chat and why I like the phone lines. But you're trying to rewire your own brain. Okay, good. Got that part. I always thought you had to have certain credentials and been doing it a really long time to do hypnosis. No, no. I learned hypnosis the very first, and hey, it's a learning process. And the more we do things, the better we get at it. And it's experience. And I've taken some very expensive courses over the last, 15 years or whatever, 20 years this year is the first time I got certified. So yeah, there's certification, but the certification is just for you. It's not for the client. In other words, there's no laws in most parts of the world. Most municipalities, there are some little place, here and there in different places where there's a requirement to register, or as a hypnotherapist, or some places you have to be a licensed mental health practitioner. But in the vast municipalities and locales and states and provinces and countries around the world, for the most part, you don't. And some of it's semantics. Like, I live in Arizona, and I've been calling myself a hypnotherapist for 20 years, so I'm not going to change. But the thing is, I lived in other states where that was perfectly fine. Here in Arizona, you're actually not supposed to say you're a hypnotherapist. That comes out under the purview of therapist. It's that therapy word that gets you in trouble. So you present as, I am a hypnotist, a hypnotherapist, a hypnotist, and a clinical hypnotherapist, and all of these terminologies, they are all the exact same thing, except for stage hypnosis. That's a different thing, but they are still hypnotists. But doing it as a practice, working with people here in Arizona, if I call myself a hypnotist, I can work with clients and I need no licensing of any kind. I do not need mental health licenses, or I don't need to be a licensed clinical social worker, LCSW. I don't need a psychology degree or anything like that. And in most places you don't. But sometimes, yeah, it's the semantics. You can't say hypnotherapy in some places. In some places you can. So you look up what the laws are. And the easiest way to do that is to go to uh, the American Board of Hypnotherapists, and they have listings. Just Google it. Hypnotherapy or hypnosis laws by state, and then you can find out, all the details of where you live, or by country if you live outside the U.S. But we have really good ones, listings for the U.S. and Canada. So go check that out. And so my first certification was a weekend course. It was a accelerated weekend course, 3 days, more like 2.5. And I was certified, and I was seeing clients the next week. You can do that. Take a weekend certification. And then if you feel like you need more, take another. I took a course that combined hypnosis, NLP, and life coaching, and you got certified in all three of the. It was like a $3,000 course, but you don't have to do that. You can take a $100 weekend accelerator thing and get certified. You don't even have to do that. You can go on Udemy, go on udemy.com, look up hypnosis, hypnotherapy, quitting smoking, weight loss, stress, whatever it is that you're trying, that you would prefer to help clients with. I always say, if you're doing this as a side hustle at first to make money, do the stop smoking, because you can charge a lot, and you can explain to them that they're not really spending any money with you, because they're going to get it all back in 2 months. It's a brilliant thing. So I recommend that. And what you can do is go on Udemy, and they always have sales. And for $9.99 or $12.99 or, $10 or whatever, you can $15 at the most, you can go and sign up for a whole bunch of, say, 5 or 6 hypnosis classes, general hypnosis, and maybe 2 or 3, you know, specific courses on quitting smoking. And you can go through them, study that over a weekend, and you can already be seeing clients next week. let's see. So what else did they have to say? I was also thinking of doing social media consulting. Yeah, that's another stream of income. And maybe you want to do all these things, and then see which ones are working out best, and then slowly prune off, some of them and get down to one or two or three things you're doing. Um, I have 12 years in sales, promotions, marketing, communications, and public affairs. Now, hey, think, how does that help you? I mean, come on. So you take that course I was just talking about. It doesn't have to be on Udemy. You can just search hypnotherapy courses. You're going to find $3,000 courses, $1,500, $900 courses, but you can find really inexpensive ones as well. In fact, I have a link to my colleague, Dr. Jones's course, and it's really, really inexpensive to take his course. And this is the thing. You have all that marketing and communications and public affairs. Apply that to you getting clients for hypnotherapy, and don't charge $100 an hour. Forget about the per hour thing. That's the wrong. Think about, you are creating a solution for somebody. They have a big problem. They need to quit smoking, and this is the solution. And however long it takes, that's how long it takes, which is typically an hour. Maybe see them once or twice more, but have a flat fee. Don't think by the hour. Don't think, oh, most hypnotherapists in my area are charging $150 an hour, or most are doing a package deal and they're charging, say, $297 for quit smoking. Be the person on the high end, you know, whatever it is in your area. And don't forget, you're not limited to your area. You can do this via Zoom across the entire world. So don't limit yourself by location either. Some people prefer to work in person with their clients, but if you are willing to try Zoom and doing, sessions over Zoom, you can reach a lot more clients, and your marketing will really pay off. And you could be doing Instagram and be doing LinkedIn and everything and getting clients, but charge a lot. It's actually doing a disservice to your clients to not charge enough. And the reason behind that is that if you come to me and I charge $500, but you go down the street and get a hypnotherapist for $50 to quit smoking, are you going to take that seriously? It's only $50. You got to have some skin in the game. You want to charge a lot, minimum $500, because, like I said, over the next 2 months, let's say they're spending $250 a month on cigarettes. Over the next 2 months, they're going to get that $500 back, and then they're going to be making money from you helping them quit smoking. But also, if they're putting out initially $500, when someone offers them a cigarette when they're out and about after your session, that cigarette, if they pick it up, if they take that from the person and light it up, that's costing them $500. They're much less likely, this is just psychology. They're much less likely to, go back to smoking if they're spending 500 versus, say, 50. They're spending $50, they may take that cigarette. So yes. And hey, message me after the show, or if you hang out here, when I finish the show, I will get you a link. All righty. So doing some shuffling here, and Ray's in there. Ray said, "Can I ask a question?" Ray, you didn't put your question in, so I think Ray's new. So yeah, that's how you do it. You just type in your question or call in at 714-816-4628. Area code 504. Hello, caller. Are you there? Area code 504. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, hello.
Hi,
Hi, Deborah from Louisiana.
Deborah.
Hi.
What's going on, Deborah?
Um, I had a very weird dream, and I was wondering if you could help me with that. It was
I love weird dreams.
I was running. Okay, cool, because it has stayed with me because I haven't dreamed in a while,
Mm-hmm.
and I dreamed I was running out of a building. I assumed it was a mall, but all I remember is like concrete. And I
Hmm.
heard like meow, meow, and like for some reason I thought it was French or France. And I asked a
Interesting.
couple other people, and they had this other girl had the same dream the same night as I did.
Hmm.
Now I was trying to decide on a job in a mall, going back into a mall. I love the talk, by the way, because I am in the same position looking for jobs from home because
Nice.
I get run out of every job. The minute I do very well, like I'm in sales, I always have people after me. Like, how does she get them? Like when all they have to do is the same thing I'm doing, but they won't put the effort forth. So
Mm-hmm.
they end up kind of bullying me out. And that's been in the last three jobs. I've won like bonuses, trips to France, by the way, all kinds of things.
Sweet.
So, but it's exhausting. So yeah. So
Mm.
here I have this dream, and someone had offered me another job. I don't know if it's particularly for that, but then why would another person have the dream?
Yeah, that is really weird.
I don't know.
And typically, when a lot of people have the same dream, and if they are like geographically near each other, it could be um, what's the word for it? A prescience, God, what's the word? It could be predicting something in the future is going to be happening, where everybody's running out of that mall, for instance. It's interesting though, you said about the mall in France, the French connection there, where it looks like circumstances in your life are blending in with a dream that might be prescient. I don't know. I don't know. Um, it could also, and I'm not great on dream interpretation, because the thing about dreams is, and they have all these dream encyclopedias and all this kind of stuff. Um, the thing about dreams is that they are very incredibly personal, and it's your own. Sometimes I can figure out some of the symbolism, but generally, because a lot of us have the same symbolism, the same archetypes are at work, regardless of the person and regardless of the
Mhm.
country you live in or your background. However, a lot of
Mhm.
symbolism in dreams are only that person's language. So it's almost
Mm.
impossible to interpret other people's dreams. People that do it, God bless them. I think that most of the stuff that they're telling their clients is bullshit. I honestly think that you need to work with somebody and spend time going through the details of the dream, having them redream, and go through client sessions that last longer than the 5 minutes we're spending here, where you can guide them through figuring out their own dream versus you interpreting their dream. Okay. Now, that said,
Okay.
Deborah, that said, though, I'm getting some interesting cards. In the middle, I'm
Okay.
getting two cards that are 10 cards. I'm getting the 10 of wands and the wheel of fortune, which is also 10. And it's a 1 day, and both of those reduce to
Mm.
one, which is about new beginnings,
Mm.
and that's what we're talking about, right? Now, these two cards are bookended by two major arcana cards: the Lover's card, card 6, which is success, and card 7, the Chariot, which again is victory. So the next thing you do, I think you're going to be it's going to be a lot better for you. You're not going to have the people pushing out and everything like that. Now, what's going on with this? So the Wheel of Fortune's turning in your favor here. But the reason is that you're getting focused on this, and you are thinking about it, and you are realizing what's going on. What's the main thing without it being a specific happenstance, but what is the main connection between all the problems and all the jobs? What I heard when you explained it to me is people pushing me out. What does that mean? Or circumstances or whatever. What does all that mean?
Jealousy,
Yeah, but what does all that mean?
jealousy or envy.
Yeah, but what does all that
It's
mean?
probably rooted in something that I have a problem with a person in my family.
Yeah, but actually, it's that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and that's actually completely right what you're saying there. But what I was going at is completely different from what you're saying right now.
Oh, my own business.
So you're
My own
doing
business.
you're doing the why. I'm doing the what is the circumstance? You're working for a company with other employees. That's the problem, not that individual problems and they're pushing you out and everything like that. You're not supposed to be working in that kind of a job. You're supposed to be doing your own thing.
Yeah.
That's
The question is, that's my that's my issue is I haven't figured it out.
mm-hmm.
So, you still have to make money so I'm okay
Yes.
right now. I have my boyfriend helping me, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel bad kind of. I don't know. I've never
Don't
not
feel
worked,
bad. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad because every one of us sometime in our life had to rely on somebody else to get on our feet. Even if you go all the way back to childhood, whether you're looking at that or the people that had to move back in with their parents, or the person that has to lean on their spouse or their boyfriend, all of us have had to do that at one point or not. However, the whole conversation
Okay.
that you were, I don't know if you heard all of it or part of it, the whole conversation I just had with
Probably
Kay,
most of it, yeah.
yeah, that whole thing applies perfectly to you too. It's almost identical,
I
you know.
know.
Yes. So what does that tell you? A couple things. One, it's no accident that you called in today. It's no accident that it's a one day, one energy where that's talking about leadership, taking charge, starting something new, moving forward. And it shows up in the cards as 2 10 cards, which reduce to one. And the 10 of wands says, hey, look, the goal here is to get these wands to, and I don't know if you're seeing the picture, but for those that are seeing the card on YouTube, there's a building in the background, a house or some kind of building, and that's the goal, is to get this. I don't know if he's carrying firewood or what it is, but he's trying to get it to this building, and he's
What's
making
your,
progress.
how can I look at it? I was looking at Catherine Hahn. I looked up, so I couldn't get to your YouTube.
Oh,
What is your
yeah.
YouTube so I can
Catherine
look at it?
Catherine was supposed to be on today, but she's couldn't make it. So I'm doing the show instead of Catherine.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the
So
the
how do
way,
I find you on
open
YouTube?
a tab in in a browser or
I'm
something, and you
there.
type in psychic.cafe/live. And that'll take you right to our YouTube
Okay,
live
thank you.
every day.
Oh wow, thank you.
Psychic.cafe/live. And you'll see I'm live there. Make sure you mute it though if you got the camera, got the video running, because we don't want
I'll
to
turn it. No.
hear me twice.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
so a lot of this is life changing. A lot of this is going in your favor, like the Chariot and the Wheel of Fortune. Even the Ten of Wands says you're making progress, right? And then the Lover's
Yeah.
card comes up, which is 6, which is success. All of this is fantastic. And then the Lovers originally, I know you get the Lover's card, you think romance and all that kind of stuff, but actually the Lover's card is about choice. So you just need to make the choice now, to go forward with this. And it may, with Kay, it was easy because she told me right off the bat, hey, I'm doing this and I'm trying my finances, trying to make money, but I'm in school for mental health. Instantly, I was like, oh, well, this is what you should be doing. I didn't need tarot cards, to help her with that.
Okay.
You may have to do more introspection. What really lights you up? It may not be the same thing. Hypnotherapy, NLP, life coaching people. um you may want to do one of the gig economy things, for a while. I don't know. But you definitely need to be
Okay.
working for yourself, at least with the app thing, and giving people rides or taking packages around or delivering this or food or whatever. um, you're not having to deal with coworkers. You are in charge. You decide when you stop and start. They cannot fire you. I mean, yes, you could screw up and they
Okay.
throw you off the app, but that's not that's not what we're talking here. That's not what happened in those other jobs. Those were muggle jobs, job. You were working for other people and you had coworkers. You want to not, whatever you do not want to have coworkers. So you want to either
Correct.
you want to solve a big problem for someone, or b, you want to uh, do something in the gig economy, and maybe multiple different things. In fact, I take Uber everywhere nowadays, and I talk to the drivers, and they do like several different things. They don't just do Uber. They do Uber when it's the best part of the day, hours, things, and then other times they're doing Uber Eats or Instacart, and then other times, they're doing, medical transportation, or I mean, it's endless what you can do, and online jobs, and looking for online jobs. But the other thing, instead of that, or in addition to that, is you could be saying to yourself, saying something like, Deborah, what is it that I like to do? Where, what makes my heart
Okay.
sing? And with a lot of my clients, I have to get them to look back all the way to 6, 7, 8, 9 years old to really get back to the heart of the matter, what it is, the juicy, what made my eyes light up. For some people, it's difficult to figure out. For other people, it's like, oh, well, that's easy. I love playing golf, and if I didn't have to work this muggle job, I'd be playing golf 24/7 because golf is my thing. As soon as you can say something like
Yeah.
that,
I
as soon as you can say something like that, you can then deconstruct that. You can come backwards from that and go,
yeah.
okay, golf. What is a huge problem that people have with golf that I can solve? And the bigger the problem, the more value, the more money I can make.
Yeah.
So rather
I
than,
had a very traumatic childhood, so that's
okay,
why I think there's a block.
yeah, that could be too, but instead of that, just think about what you did in your teens, 20s, what you're doing now, anything that makes your eyes light up, makes your heart sing. Because you don't want to just do it because you can make money at it. You want to do it because you really like it.
Correct.
Maybe you like helping people. And so, like in Kay's case, helping people, solving a problem in their personal life, like quitting a habit, stop smoking, or something like that, was perfect for her, and maybe that's perfect for you too. Maybe it's not. But the idea is to start thinking outside the box, and to realize that it's not about finding the next job. It's not about
Okay.
finding it's not about finding the thing online to do to make money. In other words, people stress out about, trying to figure out what's the best way to make money online and go do that, which requires research and requires looking, and the same thing, finding the next job, where do I apply, and then putting in the applications and going through the interview process and all that stuff. What I'm talking about is completely different. What I'm talking about is you start with the problem that you're going to solve and work backwards. So that's the thing you're going to figure out. You're not going to, and it's so good because, what you first asked, you don't have to worry about this. What do I do online to make money? I'm trying to figure that out. Or what job should I apply for? And all that. You don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to do is figure out the main premise. What
Mhm.
area what area do I want to work in, and what is the big problem associated with that area? Okay, so for Joe down the street, his area is golfing. He loves golfing. Okay, so a big problem is driving or chipping or putting, or, you know, okay, figuring out a big problem within golf. And then I solve that problem for
Mhm.
them. How do I do that? Well, I go on Udemy, I take a bunch of courses on correcting that. I go and I study hypnotherapy and NLP so I can sit down with that client and I can do hypnosis and I can solve their chipping problem or solve their driving problem or their putting problem or their follow through
Mhm.
or whatever it is, right? And
Mhm.
voila, you just created value, you just created something, and now all you got to do is put it out there. Where do those people hang out that have that problem? Okay, so I'm going to and I don't know,
Okay.
you have to figure that out. But just as an example, okay, well, I'm going to go to the golfing groups on Facebook with 50,000 people and hang out there and see what people are asking, and then when a problem comes up, I'm going to start answering it, and I'm going to start to get to know people, and
Okay.
then I'm going to start to put out there here and there. It's like, oh well, I help people with uh, solving their drive-through problem with hypnosis, and you start getting clients.
Cool.
Now, I'm not saying that you do that. I'm saying that that's the process. Instead of you trying to find a job for yourself or an online money making opportunity for yourself, you create it by starting with the premise. What is it that I'm
Yeah.
interested in? What is the huge problem that people have with that, you know, and solve it?
Yeah.
Or and this is not just for you, Deborah, but for everybody listening out there, because this is helping tens of thousands of people listening to this, podcast. Like 2 years from now, they're listening to
Yeah.
this, right? And it's helping a
Uh-huh.
lot of people out there because the other thing you can do is if you can't think of, you know, I'm into plants, I'm into golfing, I'm into, whatever, and then figuring out the big problem and then solving it for them. You can always go with the big things that are always a problem. That's another way of doing it, folks. Find something that is always a big problem and solve it, because there are certain things that are universal, like losing weight, like staying on an exercise program or staying on that low carb diet. You can help them with life
Mhm.
coaching, hypnosis, NLP. There's lots of ways to help people with these problems. Quitting smoking or stopping any habit that they don't want to do anymore. Nail biting, fear of heights, fear of flying, all this stuff, but there are, and most of these are solved with some kind of process, takes an hour or less, like hypnosis, NLP, emotional freedom techniques, EFT. I always recommend you learn that too. Life coaching. But if you want to do something, you don't really want to work with clients that way, you can look for another big problem out there that's universal, that's always taking place, that needs to be solved for humans in general. If you can't narrow it down to,
Yeah.
I'm a golfer and so I want to solve golfing problems, or like for me, for instance,
Okay.
like I belong to veteran service organizations because I'm a veteran. So I want to help veterans. So what's a big problem that
Mhm.
veterans have? Okay, PTSD. Okay. So right there. How do
Mm.
how do I help people with PS how do I help people with PTSD? Well, there's EDMR, there's hypnosis, there's NLP, there's EFT was created for that in the 70s. Emotional freedom technique, tapping, the whole tapping
You know
thing.
what? Being a sensitive person could be a problem to work back from,
Mm-hmm.
being sensitive. Like I know there's a few people that already do that,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe something, you're giving me ideas. That's something along the lines.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is think about this and maybe spend 5 or 10 minutes when you wake up and before you go to sleep at night, contemplating that. Don't push it or have to figure it out tomorrow. Just let it come over the next few days. And here's the big kicker to end this all, tie it up in a nice bow, and the whole thing. We're going to go all the way full circle back to the very beginning when you brought up, I had a dream. There's your answer right there. You're going to right before you go to sleep, as you're laying your head on the pillow, you're going to program your subconscious mind to give you the answer in a dream. And just put a pad of paper and a
Okay.
pen, your nightstand next to your bed, put a pad of paper and pen. And when you wake
Uh-huh.
up in the morning, first thing you do, even before you roll out of the bed, reach over, grab that pen and paper, write down everything you can remember from your dreams. Now, you may get the message, the answer tonight and have it by tomorrow morning, or it may take a few days, or it may take a week or two. I
Okay.
don't know. It's different for different people. But program your dreams every night,
Okay.
and you decide, you got to put it in your own language, the way you normally talk. What would you ask your subconscious? Figure it out, and then say that as you're going to sleep. You may want to repeat it like 3 or 4
Okay.
times. And I kind of I say it out
I
loud, and
like
then I
it.
think it, and then I think it in my head. It's like, okay,
Okay.
what, and maybe for you, it's like, okay, what is the big problem I solve? What is the big problem I solve? I want you to reveal to me what the big problem is that I solve. And then wake up the next
Okay.
morning, see if you remember what you dreamed. If you don't, the next night, say the exact same thing. What big problem do I solve? And tomorrow I'm going to remember what I dreamed. So you program yourself to remember the
Okay.
dream as well as what it is you want. And then call me back and let me know what happened, because I'm dying to know what the big problem is you're going to be solving for people.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really
Thanks,
enjoyed it.
Deborah. Yep, me too. It was fun.
Okay. Bye.
Yes. And what I love
Yeah.
about,
Thank you.
yeah, thanks, Deb. And what I love about calls like that is that it not only helps the caller, everybody out there, all of you guys, uh, this should get already be getting the wheels turning in your head there. Most of us go about these things the wrong way. And so they come to the show and they call in, when am I going to get the next job? Will my finances improve? Those are the kind of questions they ask, instead of what should I really be doing and how should I figure that out? Those are the real questions. And you know what? I don't know if you noticed, but did the tarot cards and everything, but the whole mechanism, don't need the cards for it. It's all life coaching. That's right. What big problem do you solve? If you think about it very, very closely, everything that everybody does, period, is all solving a problem for somebody else. Otherwise, you have no value. You're creating no value. So the bigger the problem, the bigger the value, the more money you can make. Let's see if I'm gonna go back to chat real quick. Uh oh, okay. So Linrin was typing a whole bunch of stuff in there and had to have it deleted. It's like, okay, people, don't spam the chat. Let me check the phone lines. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and then end the show, but I'm gonna check the chat. And I remember, oh, Chaley came in. Hi, Chaley. Let me know if you have a question. I haven't scrolled down all the way. I'm just seeing you pop in. If you want a reading, just pop in your question. Yeah, Dan's telling everybody. Hi, Dan. Dan wasn't here earlier when I was first started getting on the phone. I don't know. Trying to see, because Ray popped in and was asking about asking a question. And I don't know if they actually, Ray, did you actually get your question in? Okay, so my perspective, if you see anything in my love life, okay, so let's take a look. Okay, it's already, I'm seeing it's delayed. New opportunity is going to come in, requires a shift on your part. All right, so this is what's going on, Dan. Not Dan, sorry, I was thinking of Dan because he came in. Ray. Okay, so the hangman is simultaneously saying, okay, so there's a delay in that, and we could have figured that out without the cards. But also, the hangman has turned himself 180 degrees upside down so that he can see the world upside down and completely different from the rest of us. to see a solution that none of us are seeing, because he's looking from a different perspective. And I think it's very interesting that the way you worded your question, can I ask your perspective on if you see anything in my love life, is fascinating, because that fits perfectly. This is all about looking from a different perspective. It's one of those thinking outside the box questions. And as I look at other cards here, I'm seeing that that is the big problem. Ray, it's not, your love life, the other people, it's all you. And you need to think outside the box. You need to change your perspective in order to attract in the kind of person that you want to attract in, right? I think, okay, so the Seven of Swords talks about something, sneaky going in the background. Also, when you have this many swords, I always say, okay, Ray, you might be overthinking this a little bit. All right. But also, it's like you got the two swords back here, and it's like, oh, I wish I could get those swords, but I can't. I'm already carrying all these. You know, uh, you need to let go of that. And also, there might have maybe in a recent relationship, either you or the other person was doing something sneaky behind their back that they didn't know, kind of thing. And um, not that that's an issue now, but what I think is going on, and I could be completely wrong, but my gut instinct is that you're focused on that still, and that is impeding you moving forward with other relationships. Thus, the hanged man, right? So, what that's saying to me is seven is the seeker energy in numerology. You need, and it's the seven card for those that didn't know there. And you need to have the introspection, but you also, this is like a something you're attached to that you need to let go of and focus on what you do want. you know any problems from the past, forget about that. You need to, focus on what you want and attract that in. Now, I don't know if you're already seeing somebody. Let me know, because that might affect how I'm looking at some of this, because the Ace of Pentacles shows up. That's a new opportunity. But just like all those other cards, it requires, again, getting out of your comfort zone. You have to leave this beautiful garden where you're safe and everything. You need to stretch and go out. Let's see what Ray's saying. I tend to always be fascinated by girls that have a boyfriend, or I shouldn't be interested, but I am. I don't know how that's really affecting anything, but if you've had previous relationships and any of this was going on, Seven of Swords, you need to let go of that. You need to think outside the box, and you need to step outside of your comfort zone. If you're not finding anybody that you're interested in dating and everything, don't keep doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result. The definition of insanity from Einstein. You need to do something completely new. That's what these things are, doing something completely new, stepping outside the box and stepping outside your comfort zone, going places you wouldn't normally go, talking to people you wouldn't normally talk to, looking for love in all the wrong places. No, I'm really, what you need to do is, you want like-minded people. So you want to go places and be involved in groups, and go on meetup.com and find groups of people that are like-minded, the things you're interested in. And, you meet new people, those people introduce you to other new people, and you start, you got to get the universe, you got to get the flow going in order for the universe to put the right people, places, and things in your path. All right. Also, the Tower card, yet another card with a similar thing, where this is a shift in foundations. It's about letting go of belief systems and things that are no longer serving you. Okay. And so, like these other cards, it's something new. It's letting go of the past. This is letting go of the past. New That's letting go of the past. That's also, setting up new foundations by doing new things, going in new directions. And then somebody shows up, the King of Cups. The King of Cups shows up. Now, if you're hoping that a female shows up and not a guy, don't worry about it. Okay, it's not meaning it might be meaning there's a guy coming in your life, but I don't know, but it doesn't have to be. It's not a gender specific thing that when it's a king or a queen, or a knight or a page. Um, this is talking about the type of person. This person's like very mature and emotionally stable. They might be chronologically older than you. Don't have to be. They could even be younger, but have a more mature outlook or something. They're emotionally stable. They might be artistic. Um, and they might be a water sign. What are the water signs again? Scorpio, Pisces. I still can't remember them all. Anyway, you can type it in there. So yeah. And so Ray says about recently joining a dance studio. That is exactly what I'm talking about. That is perfect. That kind of thing. You want to do as many new things, even if you're not comfortable. It's like, well, I always wanted to go hang gliding, but I'm still a little scared. Just go for it. Anything where there's the potential of meeting new people. You know, that's a big one. Oh, Chaley, am I pronouncing that right? Chaley says, Cancer. Yeah, that's the other one. Chaley's like, pretty deck. Yeah. And I bought this deck specifically to use on these lives because I think I was using the Tarot Grand Lux and also, the typical US Games version of Rider-Waite Smith. And here, let me pop that up. Here's the URL: psychic.cafe/lux with an E, Luxe. So just type that in a browser: psychic.cafe/lux, Luxe. Grab this deck. It's great. But when I was using it on air, what was happening was let me move that out there a little bit. Tarot Grand Lux. I love it. So the because all the symbolism and everything is different, I was going back to Rider Waite all the time. So I'd be showing the Grand Lux card and saying, well, in the traditional Waite Smith, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, geez, I need to just use a Rider Waite Smith deck. But I didn't want to use my universal one. I just think they look kind of plain. I like the radiant deck where the colors are more vibrant and stuff. But even that's not flashy enough. Then I found this gold foil deck. Oh, I have a URL for that too. It's psychic.cafe/gold foil. Oh, I don't know why these things are like on top of each other, but I'm going to try and move that down a little bit. There we go. So you guys can see it. So psychic.cafe/gold foil will take you to this deck. And by the way, there's a bunch of different versions. So you might have to look through it to actually look for this backing, and you have the right version. There's like 5 or 6 different gold foil decks. Some of them aren't gold though; they're like some kind of other foil. They're all really cool. But I got this deck specifically, because of the prettiness, the gold foil. It's basically just it is the original Waite Smith images, but it just has these geometric patterns and gold foil, and it's so much nicer to be showing on video on a YouTube channel than the classic US Games version of the Waite Smith. There's so many versions, but I love this one, and it's cheap. It's not expensive. Oh, the other thing, Chaley, is this is not cardstock like 90%, 98% of decks, right? This is not cardstock. This is PVC material that the gold foil and coloring has been put onto, making the image. It is you can bend it. You can bend it this way. It's always going to pop back to perfect form, and it's waterproof. You can wash these cards in soap and water, right? Also, another factor that I love about this stuff is that they're very slippery, so be careful. They could fly right out of your hands. But what's really cool about it is they shuffle like a dream. because they're PVC, they bend so nice and easy. Shuffling, rifling like that, or doing the overhand, they slip really quickly and easily through your fingers. It's a dream. I never used to shuffle on the shows. Prior to the show, I would shuffle 3 riflings, 3 overhands, and 3 cuttings, and then repeat that 3 times. And you guys can see what I'm doing. The power of three, Nikola Tesla told us if you only knew uh, the power of 369. So there's 9 numbers in numerology. So I do everything 9 times, and I do each of the different types of shuffling, different ways of shuffling 3 times. So I do 333, and then I do that 3 times, and I would then cut the deck, and then I would just start taking cards off the top through the whole show. All the different callers and questions in the chat, I would not shuffle again. But because this deck, and by the way, I think that's a perfectly valid way of doing it. You set the intention that you're going to get the right cards, answering all the questions as you go along in chronological order. It's that simple. If the cards can work to answer questions, it can certainly work that way. The universe, will let it happen. But I like shuffling in between at least some of the questions, maybe not every question. And with this deck, I can actually do it because it's so fast and easy to shuffle this deck. It only takes a couple seconds, and that way you're not wasting valuable airtime shuffling, right? So yeah, grab this deck, folks. It's fantastic to use with clients. I've used it with some clients, and they said that it is very pretty, and they love looking at it. If you want something that's not Waitsmith, maybe you're not a big fan, try the psych. Go to psychic.cafe/lux and try out the Grand Lux deck, because that is the perfect deck to use in person with clients. Well, or on Zoom, but I like using that one in person, this one on Zoom. Okay. I'm going to check and see if there's any more questions before I get out of here. See if I missed anything. You only need to post the question once. Thanks, Dan. So real quickly, go over to let me see. We're doing shows daily now. There won't be a show tomorrow because that's the one time a month, first Saturday that I take off. I have a meeting. But I will be back on Sunday with Maria for her show, The Angelic View, on the 3rd, and then I'll be back Monday by myself. And then we are the official broadcast of the Tarot Guild, now in our 20th year, and we have a sale going on. You can, like I said earlier, book a reading with me, 50% off at psychic.cafe/sale. But you can also get 75% off our lifetime membership. So instead of $297, it's one payment of $78 or 2 payments of $39. 39 now, 39 next month. And you're signed up for life, and you get all the benefits that you see up here. And go to that page, psychic.cafe/sale, and it explains everything you get with the membership and why it's great, especially if you're wanting to be a professional reader or psychic advisor. And you can join us on these shows as well. Go over to my tip jar. It is psychic.cafe/coffee. I'll put that in the chat. https://psychic.cafe/coffee. And hold on, I'm going to try to put a coffee cup just to be cute. There we go. Pop that in the chat there. There's the link. Go over to psychic.cafe/coffee, and you can grab me a cup of coffee. Maybe you enjoyed the show. Maybe you got a great reading. Hey, if I don't have time to get your question today, remember you can call in or join us in the chat and ask your questions tomorrow or Monday. And if you buy me a cup of coffee right now after the show, let me know. Message me after the show on my page, psychic.cafe/Dax, and let me know your name and area code and you're calling in, or to look for you in chat. And we will bring you on first. No waiting. You'll be the very first. psychic.cafe/coffee. And that way, we'll get to your question as well. Psychic.cafe/coffee. That's the way you get to the top of the caller queue. Or if you just want to, buy me a cup of coffee, give me a little love there. You're enjoying the shows. Hopefully, the angelic, let's see, trying to figure this out here. Why is it not showing compassionate light? Something's weird here. I don't know what's going on. I think I know what happened. I think I know what happened. There it is. I forgot I had to put it back in. Because we changed banners for March. It's March 1st. Hopefully, Catherine's okay and is going to be able to do a show next Saturday live. Maybe she'll pre-record this first show. And I think it was what mind connecting ourselves to spirit and our world. Yes. So hopefully she'll be back next Friday. Again, I said the angelic view tomorrow. Michelle's Mystic Corner. The next one will be the second Saturday, which is the 9th of March. That's Michelle's next show. She's still recovering from her little oral surgery there. Hopefully she'll be able to talk and maybe join me next week sometime. If not, I'll be with her on the 9th. And yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Well, thanks everybody. And I'm going to get out of here. Shelly says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what you mean there. We've really enjoyed having you here and your comments. And yeah, sorry it's not Catherine, but I decided to, jump in and do the show here. All righty. I'll see you all tomorrow. No, the next day. Yeah, it's Sunday. I keep thinking tomorrow's Sunday because I'm usually doing this on Saturday, not Friday. No show tomorrow. I'll be back on Sunday. Bye, everybody, for now.